Hey guys, welcome back to another video. So this is day 7 of my test of Project Fi. Now, I don't know how long I'm going to test Project Fi out and see how I like it, but in a short period of time, you can kind of get a feel of how you like a service. So Project Fi is a recap here, a combination of T-Mobile and Sprint's towers being used on the same network, I'll say. The Fi network is basically Sprint and T-Mobile together. And the way that works is it jumps from each tower from each carrier to give you the best coverage at all time. Now, Project Fi is kind of based off of Wi-Fi. It has Wi-Fi calling. There's a bunch of different features that Project Fi offers that other companies offer. The only difference is that this uses 2 carriers. It uses Sprint and T-Mobile. There are plenty of apps out there that can help you run your Project Fi right from your phone very easily. And shout out to Jose Santana, who hooked me up with a couple of apps. One's $2, I think, and the other one's free. It'll help you manage your Project Fi. You can actually control what network you want to be on. And I think that's a good thing for people who use Project Fi. You need to get those 2 apps. I can't think of the name of them at this very moment, but I'll have a link to them in the description if you don't already have them. Definitely a must. So, how's Project Fi been for me? Here's the honest truth. Where I live at, T-Mobile has fantastic service, which I have here on my Galaxy S7 Edge, used daily, no problems. With Project Fi, they use T-Mobile service and Sprint. And so you're going to pretty much get either service, whichever one's better at the time, that's the one they're going to go with. So in my experiences, I primarily am on the T-Mobile network. I had to force myself using the application to get onto the Sprint network. And it's not really much difference. Download speeds are okay. Nothing to scream home about. They definitely don't rival. Now, this is the strange part. The Nexus devices are flawless on T-Mobile's network. If I put my T-Mobile SIM card in here, banging service. But on Project Fi, T-Mobile service is not as strong for whatever reason. I don't know why, but it's not. The download speeds are a lot lower. Just the overall experience on the network is a little different. Now, what does compare is Wi-Fi calling on the T-Mobile network versus Wi-Fi calling on the Fi network. It's pretty much the same. I did have some instances where people were saying, "Oh, well, you know, I can't hear you." When I was on speakerphone, they was like, "You sound muffled," and then as soon as I turned it off, they was like, "Oh, that's crystal clear." I don't know what that was about because I've used this on speakerphone before and with no problems. So I don't know if it was just that particular call or those calls that I experienced that, but it is possible that it could be. So comparing the two, I don't know. It just seems like the Project Fi service is strange because it's not as strong as the individual services that I have. We have an iPhone on Sprint, and we just have a Sprint account, I should say. It doesn't matter what phone we have, but we have a Sprint account and we have a T-Mobile account, and both of those are much stronger than the Fi network. But the Fi network can only be on one at a time. I don't know. So that might sound like I don't like the Fi service, but I actually do. So let's get to some of the real neat parts about this. So paying your plan on here, it's I chose the $10 to 1 gig, and I would suggest everyone just do that because their services are prorated. There are no extra fees if you go over. It's just $10 per gig. But if you don't use the entire gig, they just charge you for what you've used. Like if I used, of my 10 gigs, I used 1.3 or 1.4, they only charge me $4 for the difference. That's a good thing. That's an example. I haven't actually paid a bill yet, but that's how it would be. I jumped on Twitter and started talking to people, just random people. I just tweeted out there about Project Fi, and I thought it was great. And people that I don't know, that don't follow me, actually responded and gave me some great tips. But there are actually a lot more people on Project Fi than I thought. So at day 7, would I recommend Project Fi? Yeah, because there's some advantages to having 2 networks. One is that you get the best of both worlds. You know, one network is probably going to be stronger than another network in another area. But overall, though, Project Fi is a great idea. Some things that I wish they would do is they would just bring an unlimited plan. that would be great, because I don't enjoy being on Wi-Fi as much as I've been on here. Like, since I had Project Fi, I pretty much just stay on Wi-Fi no matter what. When I'm on my T-Mobile account, I just leave it on the data because it's so fast. But I do have, Wi-Fi pretty much everywhere I go. When I walk out of the house with this device, switching phone calls from the Wi-Fi calling to the data calling, flawless. I can't even tell the difference. But it seems like when I'm out and about, all the hotspots and things that I connect to out and about where I live, the phone automatically jumps on there, and I'm like, oh, I'm on Wi-Fi. I didn't know that. It's Wi-Fi calling. So it's a good thing. Project Fi is a fantastic idea. Just the plans, I think, and the plans aren't bad. It's just that some people probably would want a family plan, and some people would probably want an unlimited plan. Those are things that I would want. So overall, Project Fi is acceptable. The data speeds aren't that fast, even though I'm primarily on the T-Mobile network in my home area. The data speeds are nowhere near as fast as my other T-Mobile devices. Again, I hate to stress that, but I don't know why. Overall, though, Project Fi is a go. It kind of gets a go because the plans are prorated and you only pay for what you use. And that's a good thing. And I talked to people who have canceled their plans before, just middle of it, and Google instantly gives you a credit back for the difference. The system automatically calculates it. It's amazing how it's done. Their billing system is how cell phone companies should be. They really should take note of how Google's running Project Fi's billing. I haven't had to call in for anything. You can actually control the entire account from the internet or the phone. Literally, you can cancel your service, pause your service for a little bit, do whatever you want to do, change your plan. You don't have to call in for anything. And that is what I like. Even when I port it, now here's a surprise to some people. I actually really fell in love with Google Fi pretty quickly. And what I did was I ported over one of my main numbers to replace the temporary number that I took over here. So that's how much I really liked Google Fi. And that process was seamless. Now, in the porting process, they tell you, now I started Project Fi with a completely new number. And in the porting process, they tell you it'll take 1 to 2 business days. When I tell you, I powered off this phone and then powered it back on, and within about 45 seconds of doing that port, because I actually had to contact them to get them to initiate the port because, again, I started Fi with the new number, so I didn't go through the original steps. But she said, reboot your phone, and when you reboot your phone, you go into the Fi app, you're going to see the option to do a port now. And I was like, okay, great. Within a matter of seconds, rebooted the phone, I came back, and the port request was there. So I just filled in the information. Google doesn't take anything. It's not like porting out of other companies where they ask you for the account number, the password. It's all done through the app or the internet if that's what you choose. But the good part about it is you can literally control your Fi account from the application. That is flawless. So when I powered it back on, I actually ported over one of my numbers from T-Mobile in a matter of seconds. It said 2 days, but when I powered off my phone and powered it back on, I was actually on a call with someone else on my number that I was porting because I didn't think it was going to take that fast. The call dropped and I couldn't imagine what happened, and then they started calling me back and it was ringing on my Project Fi phone. So that is phenomenal. I also found out some things about Fi that whenever I decide to stop using Fi, if I decide I can continue to use it if I just want to do a data line. I didn't know this. Again, I jumped on Twitter and some people, this lady hit me up and said, you can actually just use a data, which is just pay $10 and you can use it for data. Now that might sound crazy, right? But with Google, that means you're not going to be able to do any there's no SMS directly through the messaging app. But think about this. Google has Google services. So you don't really need a phone number associated or a phone line. You can actually do everything through Google Voice because Google Voice has a phone number. If you use the Google Hangouts app, it makes phone calls. It's just that everything will be done through data. And that's not a bad thing. So you can essentially pay $10 a month, stay connected to Wi-Fi when you're in a Wi-Fi area, but when you're out and about, you'll still be able to get phone calls if you want to do it that way. You'll still be able to send SMS with your Google Voice number. It'll still work the same for $10. You just won't have unlimited text and talk. You'll have to do everything over data. And for $10, that is not a horrible deal. So I learned a little bit about Project Fi. in the 7 days here, and I think it's phenomenal. Now, you probably see my Rhino shield. I actually got a Rhino shield, so I'm going to give you a close-up right now of this case. I thought it was pretty interesting, so let's get to that part of the video. So here's the Rhino shield. Now, my phone is on the charger. I'll take it off for a second. I power my phones off when I charge them. Sorry for the shadow and everything. I'm in a different part of my office area. I'm getting some renovations done, and I just have one LED spotlight. And yeah, sorry if it's kind of shadowy, but here's the Rhino shield. The Rhino shield was a case that I actually saw some videos on, and I was like, wow, this is ridiculous. How can this thing be 11 feet drop tested? And sure enough, I saw the videos of it. And it's actually very slim and minimalistic. Not much to it, which is attracted me to it. Now, this isn't, now I purchased this. This isn't any kind of review unit because I normally get a lot of review cases. But shout out to Rhino Shield if they want to send me some for all my other phones. But the fact is, this case is a bumper case, basically. It's just a bumper. The front and back are open. You can go ahead and put a tempered glass. I do have a tempered glass coming in for my phone. But the drop protection that this case is supposed to give, in several videos that I've seen, it actually works. Now, it didn't survive a 20-foot drop. The phone that was used actually shattered and things. But overall, the phone still worked. But the fact that this can be dropped at 11 feet and still not damage your phone is a phenomenal thing. Now, I've dropped phones from 2 feet in iPhones. The iPhone is the only phone that I've dropped and it shattered immediately from like 2 or 3 feet. Unbelievable. You know, you get out of your car and it falls out of your lap. That's happened to me like 3 or 4 times with different iPhones. And the phone's just shattered. So while I don't do drop tests and things like that, this case actually looks good too. And I thought, you know, it's a bumper. It's not a case. But man, once I got it in hand, I was like, wow, this feels and looks good. So as you can see here, it has a lip around all of the back part. See how big that lip is? But it's not as defined in person. You have to kind of just get it. It's like they have a lip on both sides. And the case has actually kind of got a little lip and a curve. You can kind of see there. And it just looks stunning to me. I thought it was really good. So Rhino Shield produced a very solid case, enough to where this case isn't very cheap. It's actually $25 on Amazon. All the ports and everything are cut out nice and clean. But you know what? I didn't want to buy a bunch of different cases for this. I just bought a tempered glass and this Rhino Shield, and I said I'm calling it a day because I'll use this phone with me when I'm traveling. This will be a phone that I take when I travel. I don't want to take my $800 phone right here. I don't want to risk dropping that and damaging that because I don't like to keep my phones in bulky cases. As you can see, I like to have these ultra thin cases. Nonetheless, this Rhino Shield is really nice. It looks good. It's very minimalistic. And I think it's one that's worth the $25. And I don't sign off on a lot of expensive cases. If you follow my videos, you know that I don't really buy a lot of expensive cases. Most of them, I actually get them free. I won't lie about that. Companies send them to me and I review them. But in this case, I jumped out and purchased this. Not because I couldn't get a review unit. It's because I was extremely interested in it. And I wanted to only buy one case. That was my thing. I said, I'm only going to buy one case for this. So if you see any other cases for this, I didn't purchase them probably. They're just review units that people sent to me. But this case is super sleek. It comes in black and it comes in this white for this particular model. Other phones, they do have different colors. But this is just a stunning looking case, and the protection on here, the lip that it has on there, that is just really good. It's got a lip on the front too. It's just really nice. I would definitely recommend this for the Nexus 5X. So that's day 7. I don't know if I'll bring you any other updates on Project Fi. I probably will. I don't know because I still haven't started traveling yet, but I'm getting ready to. So we shall see. Actually, you know what? By the recording of this video, yeah, traveling. So yeah. I think it's good. I think it's good. My future trips, I'll be taking this to see how Project Fi works out. And maybe I guess I probably should give you some more updates. Nonetheless, though, it's Jay Will, and this is the Rhino Shield for the Nexus 5X, and that is my update, day 7 on Project Fi. I'll see you in the next one.